Let's call the meeting to order and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Jones, Counselor Geisler,
Here.
Counselor Jelly,
Here.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Here.
Mayor Boucher.
Here. Announcements. Do any counselors have announcements they'd like to say for the public good? I'd just like to encourage everyone to attend as much of Summerfest as they can now that it's back after a few year hiatus. And thanks to all the volunteers that are putting it together. We have no communications on record. Mr. Mulder, could you give us a short synopsis of the presentations we had at pre-agenda?
Sure. Chief Chris gave an update on just our progress on working on the transition for the fire department to a public safety department. Hopefully we're going to have all that work done by January 1st, and there will be no interruption of service to the public. And another, Sean Jokin from the Alumni Legacy Fund gave us an update on just what they're doing in terms of fundraising efforts for the Hermantown Arena.
Thank you. Now we are under public discussion. Item 8. This is a time that anyone can address the council about any item not on the agenda. We ask that you limit your time to 3 minutes per person. If anyone wishes to speak to the council, either speak up online with your name and address or approach the podium and state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Corey Larson. I live at 5343 Split Rail Drive. I'm here to comment on the progress of transitioning the fire department into a public safety department. And I err on the side of caution in regards to this specific model. In the state of Minnesota, public safety departments, as far as utilizing a police chief for both police chief and public safety director that oversees a fire department, is very few and far between. This is an old model that has not been utilized very often, especially when we're looking at our specific geographical location. It is my recommendation, especially with the critical infrastructure, the population density that's occurring in the city of Hermantown, to navigate the waters as far as employing a full-time fire chief that works under the city administrator. And that fire chief and that police chief can work together synergistically and really create public safety for the city of Hermantown. Now, reviewing everything that's been put together, and I commend Chief Grace for everything that he's done, but I do believe there is specific operational components that are missing because there is a lack of fire department knowledge, specifically in regards to NFPA 1720 and NFPA 1500. Now, I know there's a lot of emphasis in regards to emergency medical services, but it's very critical that we remember that there's a fire department component. And with new infrastructure, new buildings that are going up, the time from flashover is in between 5 to 7 minutes. We want to ensure that that fire department moving forward is going to be able to get out that door, meeting that NFPA 1720 and that 1500, protect us, and then also increase that ISO capability for our citizens. But everything that's been put together, I think is great. It's just, I think that leadership aspect, as far as actually having a full-time fire chief for the city of Hermantown, is paramount for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak to the council? If so, please start with your name and address.
Steve Johnson, 3659 Getchell Road. I just wanted to, I was in the pre-agenda meeting, just wanted to answer some questions that might have been missed, or that just something for you guys to know. So as a current volunteer here at Hermantown Volunteer Fire Department, I just want the city council to know that yes, all our members are 100% committed, and all the ones that are planning on onboarding with a new program, whichever way is seen forward, plan on doing that. We plan on doing everything, fixing trucks, still trying to get new people. Open house on Saturday, please attend, stuff like that. We're still doing what we need to do to get the job done for the community and for us. We also like to thank the chief for all the things that he's doing for us, and all the volunteers and all the commitment and all the other departments that made sure that we are on the right foot. Just so you guys know that we are still 100% committed all the way through, and the people that are on board are going to go all the way through to the next step. Thank you.
Steve, just one question, a little off topic, for you and the chief. Are you guys still battling for blood donations on Saturday?
Actually, no, this year we're working together.
Okay,
I can't remember what the term is,
better together?
better together.
Okay,
Great cause.
thank you.
Thank you.
A little foreshadowing there.
Mm.
Anyone else wish to speak to the council? Either online or in chambers? Please start with your name and address. Is there any other public input or discussion at this time? Hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda, which is the approval or correction of the July 5th council minutes and accounts payable from July 5th, July 1st through the 15th in the amount of $1,304,036.24. Do you have a motion for the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Jelly, second by Counselor Geisler. Roll call, please.
Counselor LeBlanc.
Aye.
Counselor Jelly.
Aye.
Counselor Geisler.
Aye.
Counselor Jones. Aye. Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolutions. Resolution 2023-98. Resolution authorizing the city of Hermantown to sponsor a grant funding request associated with the Proctor Hermantown Munger Trail Spur Route Plan. Do we have a motion?
All motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Geisler. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor LeBlanc. Mr. Mulder, should we have Mr. Johnson address this? Eric?
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Before us this evening, it's a grant request to the Greater Minnesota Regional Parks and Trails Commission, otherwise known as GMRPTC. It's for two segments of our overall trail system. It's going to be from the intersection of Levake Junction / Ugstead Road over to the intersection of Stebner Road and Maple Grove. It's approximately 2.83 miles in length. And once that is completed, that will connect essentially Highway 53 all the way down to the Ingwalls facility right now today. As part of this grant application, we're looking to make a request somewhere in the neighborhood of $700,000 to $1 million. We're anticipating that the work associated with this trail is going to be in the neighborhood of around $3 million for that. Myself and the city engineer are working on the final cost estimates associated with this grant. This grant would be for funding year 2025, and we anticipate these projects would be in the 25-26 year. As part of that grant requirement, the work is completed to be done by July 31st of 27.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? With none, is there any public input on this resolution? Any public input on resolution 2023-98? Is there public input on the resolution authorizing the city to sponsor a grant funding request for the Proctor Hermantown Munger Trail Spur Route Plan? Roll call, please.
Counselor Jones. Aye. Counselor Jelly.
Aye.
Counselor Geisler.
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc.
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2023-99, resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute and deliver development agreement with JLG Enterprises of Hermantown LLP for Peyton Acres Phase 2A. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor LeBlanc. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Jelly. Mr. Mulder, should Mr. Johnson handle this one also? Eric?
Great. Thank you again. At our previous city council meeting in earlier July, the council approved the plat associated with this phase 2A. It was a 13 lot, 2 outlot phase of this development. This is the fourth phase of the Peyton Acres project. This development agreement will cover infrastructure improvements, i.e. sidewalks, water and sanitary sewer mains, roadway, as well as stormwater improvements for this. As part of the development agreement, the developer will be required to have a letter of credit in place for the stormwater work. And it gives the developer the option to provide a letter of credit for those other infrastructure items or to be able to perform that work. In either case, one of those others have to be completed or done for the city to order to sign off on the plat and the owner to actually sell lots at that point. This phase is anticipated to run through the remainder of 23 and into 24. And the development agreement does identify an October 15, 24 date for the completion of these infrastructure improvements.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Is there any public input on this resolution? If anyone wishes to comment on this resolution, please begin with your name and address. Is there any public input on resolution 2023-99 Peyton Acres Phase 2A? Roll call, please.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor Jones. Aye. Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2023-100, resolution approving pay request number 1 for road improvement district number 538 to Yulin Brothers Incorporated in the amount of $381,674.40. We have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Geisler. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Jones. Mr. Mulder.
So this is the first pay request for his work that's being done in the Hermantown Marketplace. They're currently focusing on the building of Lindgren Road. And then they will focus on infrastructure on Richard. And then later this fall, they'll work on the paving of all of those roads. But this is the first pay request for that work that's being done today.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any public input on this resolution? Any public input on approving a pay request number 1 for road improvement district number 538? Is there any public input on resolution 2023-100? Roll call, please.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Counselor Jones. Aye. Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2023-101, resolution approving pay request number 2 for road improvement district number 534 to Yulin Brothers Incorporated in the amount of $548,510.94. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Jelly. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor LeBlanc. Mr. Mulder?
So this is the pay request for the work that's being done on Uggstead Road between Maple Grove and Highway 53.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments from council? Is there any public input on this resolution? Any public input on resolution 2023-101? Is there any public input on approving a pay request number 2 for road improvement district number 534? Roll call, please.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Counselor Jones. Aye. Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2023-102, resolution approving change order number 8 for road improvement project number 534, Uggstead and Arrowhead Roads. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Geisler. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Jones. Mr. Mulder, would you like our city engineer to handle this one?
Sure.
Mr. Balf?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is change order number 8 on
Uggstead Road, our federal aid project. And the nature of the changes here are once we got into the milling operation, we found that the underlying bituminous is not as thick as we anticipated. We got into some class 5 at the center line of the road, and we directed the contractor to mill out some extra material and had to subsequently place some more bituminous in the place. So the total amount is that $74,550 for that work.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any public input on resolution 2023-102? Is there any public input on the resolution approving change order number 8 for road improvement project number 534? If anyone has any public input, please start with your name and address. Roll call, please.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor Jones. Aye. Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2023-103, resolution approving the final pay request for the removal of the Lindahl Road Bridge to KTM Paving Incorporated in the amount of $3,844.50. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Jelly. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Jones. Mr. Mulder.
So this is the final pay app for this bridge project. All of the work to remove that bridge is now done. And so this is just paying out the retainees that we had maintained and until the completion of the project.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council? Is there any public input on this resolution? Is there any public input on resolution 2023-103? Is there any public input on this resolution? If so, state your name and address. Roll call, please.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Counselor Jones. Aye. Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2023-104, resolution approving pay request number 1 for the construction of the Haynes Road Water Main Extension to KTM Paving Incorporated in the amount of $40,280. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Geisler. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor LeBlanc. Mr. Mulder.
So just as a kind of a reminder for everybody, this was a second connection to the Duluth system, so that we get our water from the city of Duluth. We had one connection to their system where we got all of our water. Now we have 2. And so we had done this as part of that water modeling project we had done about a year ago. So this is the final work that was done to connect city of Hermantown water, the city of Duluth water in a second spot. The majority of this work is done. We're simply waiting for some sidewalk and curb to be replaced, which is going to be done as part of the overall St. Louis County's project on that road.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, is there any public input on this resolution? Is there any public input on resolution 2023-104? Any public input on the approval of pay request number 1 to KTM Paving? Roll call, please.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Jones. Aye. Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2023-105. Resolution accepting a proposal for engineering services with a total not to exceed contract amount of $199,205 for Hermantown Connector Trail Segment 4, Keene Creek Park to Stebner Road from Northland Consulting Engineers. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Jones. Do we have a second?
Second. Second.
Second by Counselor Jelly. Okay, don't fight over it. Any, Mr. Mulder?
So this is the engineering contract for the first segment of trail we're doing under the Community Recreation Initiative. This segment will be from the King Creek parking area south to Stebner Road, with the hope that we'll put in a trailhead on Stebner Road at the city limits there. So this is the first segment. This is for the design and construction engineering for this project, with the hope that we would build this in 2024.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments from the council?
I just have my usual comment. My son works for Northland Consulting Engineers, and the result of this contract has no financial benefit to my son or myself.
Thank you. Anything else from council? Is there any public input on this resolution? Any public input on resolution 2023-105? Any public input on the resolution accepting a proposal from Northland Consulting Engineers? Roll call, please.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Jones,
Aye.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2023-106. Resolution authorizing and directing mayor and city clerk to execute and deliver agreement for consulting services with Short Elliott Hendrickson, independent contractor. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Counselor Geisler. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor LeBlanc. Mr. Mulder?
So as part of that trail construction through King Creek, we're going to be crossing King Creek Park, I think 3 different times out with bridges. And so we're having SEH kind of do the water modeling of that, doing elevations and just checking all of the floodplain maps and things like that, just so that make sure that we get the necessary DNR permits and we don't make any changes to the floodplain maps.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? I'm sure that we'll find out in this process what times of year we can do this with the creek that we're crossing.
Yes.
Anything else from council? Is there any public input on this resolution? Is there any public input on resolution 2023-106? Is there any public input on the resolution authorizing an agreement for consulting services with Short Elliott Hendrickson? Roll call, please.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Counselor Jelly,
Aye.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Aye.
Counselor Jones,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. And for the first time in a while, we don't have a need for a closed session tonight. Do we have a motion to recess?
Motion to recess.
Motion by Counselor Jelly. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Jones. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.